Hello everyone, welcome back to Cloud Pathshala. My name is Manendra Tawar. Today's topic is very interesting and very trendy. Why I'm saying it's trendy? Because we know most of the businesses are moving to cloud because of its scalability and the reliability. Now, the major challenge is to migrate or move their existing workload from their data center to cloud. So in this video, we will discuss how we can migrate the existing or running application database server from on-prem data center to cloud or from one cloud to another cloud without any downtime and without any impact. Yes, this is true. In this video, we'll see how we are migrating the server without any downtime. So let's get started. So first of all, you have to open your Azure console where we have to create a resource group under our subscription. Here I'm creating a resource group with the name of app server. Let's create it. Okay, our resource group is ready. Now the next step is to create a VM in this resource group. So I'm creating a VM. Here you have to give the name of your virtual machine. I'm giving app server 1. Rest of the parameters I'm keeping it default, and I'm taking OS of Windows, and the size will be 2 CPUs and 4 GB memory. User I'm creating here with CPVM. And here you have to put the password. Okay, now these are the other options: disk, networking, management, monitoring, etc, etc. I'm keeping all the options on its default. I'm not changing anything. Let's directly go to the review plus create. This is the summary of our VM, and these will be the charge of our VM per hour. Let's create it. Okay, now it's taking time. Okay, our server is ready. Let's go to the resource. I'll access this server with the username and password what we have just set. I'm taking the RDP, native RDP. This is the RDP file I have downloaded from here. Username, password. So in our VM, we will create a test application by nginx, and we will copy some data, some test data, so we can check after migration. Once it is migrated in AWS, we will check if the data is available or if our application is working fine. Let's start with the application part. First, you need to disable the enhanced security. Why I'm doing this? Because it can block some cookies. So I'm disabling it. In your production environment, please do not disable the security if it is required. So enhance security configuration, I'm just disabling it for administrator. Okay, let's go into the browser. Here I will download the nginx file. You have to go on nginx download. Here you can see the nginx link. Just click on that, and I'm downloading the mainline version. It's downloaded. You have to copy this from download folder to C drive. and extract it here. Okay, it is extracted now. Now I'm gonna start the nginx services. Service has been started. Let's check in the browser if it is working or not. Here we have to put http localhost. Okay, it is going to our nginx server, means it is running fine. Now the second step is we will add a additional disk in this server to keep some test data. So here you have to go into your Azure console, create and attach new disk. 0 is already used for OS disk. Now I'm taking as 1 as a LUN number. Here you have to put the disk name. You can put any name, and I'm taking the 4 GB disk only. This is enough. This is for testing purpose only. Create it. Okay, our disk is created. Now you have to go to the computer management in your VM. Here you have to bring the new disk online. So this is the 4 GB disk which we have just attached. I'm just creating a new partition from this. Okay, our disk is online. Let's check in the file explorer. Here you can see new disk is here. Let's download some test data. You can download it from test file download site. Okay, I'll download some short file. Let's download the 100 MB file. Okay, it is getting downloaded. Okay, it's downloaded. So what we will do, we will copy this file from here, or we will copy both the files from this location to the new drive. Okay, I have removed it from here. I have just cut paste in the new disk. So we have created both the cases in our virtual machine. This is the final step. I am just disabling the firewall, so the communication will be smooth from our virtual machine to AWS. Now let's go to AWS console, AWS application migration services. Before starting the services, you have to set replication launch and post launch templates. Here are some settings you have to configure it. So you have to define the subnet, replication server instance type, and volume type, or the security group you want to use for that replication server. Once it is done, save the changes. Similarly, you have to configure the launch template. Here are some options. This is activate instance right sizing. If you enable this option, so it will automatically take the sizing. If you disable this option, you can manually define the size you want. Like I am defining it here C5 large. You can define any. And this is a security group and AWS license. I'm using it here. If you have your own license, you can use your own. There is an option of bring your own license. Okay, this is done. Save the settings. Now the post launch template. This is for system manager agent installation. If it is required, you can enable it. If not, you can directly save the template. After these steps, you have to go source servers. Here we will add a new server. So we are using, or we are migrating a Windows server. So I'll select Windows. Now the next option is you want to replicate all the disk, or you want to select which disk to be replicated. You can select it here. I'm going with the replicate all disk option. So these details are required to connect that virtual machine to AWS. So here I'll go in IAM, where we have to create a user and we need the access key and secret key for that user. Let's go to the IAM. Users. Here we'll create a new user. I'm creating a user with AWS migrate user. Now you have to attach the policy to give the permission. So I'm giving AWS application manager installation policy. You have to attach this one. So we are giving this user right, so this user can install the agent. Once it is created, you have to create the security credentials for same. From security credentials, we will get the access key and the secret key. These details we'll use while installation of the replication agent. I'll copy it and paste it here. Same for the secret key. Once this is done, other two steps are optional. Now fifth step, to install the agent, you can right click on that, copy the link and download the agent in your virtual machine which you want to replicate in AWS. So it will download the agent for us. Okay, agent is downloaded. Now we have to go to the next step, that is sixth step. What this command is doing, this command will install the agent, and next is you can see all the details here in the command. It is showing the region, in which region he has to communicate with. Next is AWS account and the credentials what we have just created. So it has given us the complete command. We have to simply copy it from here and run it into the source virtual machine. Let's open the PowerShell. Okay, we have to go into the download folder, as we have downloaded our agent in download folder. You can see in download folder we have our agent. That's the reason we have to go to the path of download folder and paste the command here. Let's run it. It will install the agent. Okay, this is the error, installation failed, error details, SSL certificate verify failed. No problem, this is a known error. This is for the certificate verification. We can download the trusted certificate from Amazon site itself. You have to go into the browser, just write AWS root certificate. Go down and go to AWS Trust Service Repositories. From here, you can download the root certificate. I'm going with the latest one. Once it is downloaded, you have to install it in your server. During the installation, you have to define the path where you want to install this. So we'll go with the manual path. We have to install it into the root certificates. So select trusted root certification. Okay, next, finish. Okay, we have successfully imported the certificate. Let's try the command again. Enter. Let's wait for some time. Okay, the process has been started. It is showing these are the disk which will be replicated. We have selected all volumes, so it is showing all volumes for replication are successfully identified. Now it is downloading AWS replication agent. Next step is it is installing. Okay, the installation has been finished. You can see the last line, syncing the source server with application migration. So let's go into AWS console, refresh it. You can see our server is here, app server 1, which we have created in Azure. Now these are the tasks it will perform. After performing these tasks, it will replicate all the data. But make sure you have an internet gateway configured in your VPC, which is attached with your VPC. If internet gateway is not there, then the communication will be failed between Azure to AWS. Okay, internet gateway is ready. Now the next step is check the route tables if it is perfectly configured. No. Why it is showing black hole? Because we have removed the earlier internet gateway. We have to configure the new internet gateway here, what we have just created. Let's select it, save the changes. You can see both the routes are active now. If you have a network ACL configured, please check nothing is blocked here. We need 443 ports, 1500 ports should be there. These are the security groups. You can check it's already created a security group in which these ports are required to replicate the virtual machine. Let's go back and check. So it has started creating the tasks. The replication will take some time, around 2 or 3 hours. So I'm stopping the recording right now and will be back once the replication will be done. Okay, our replication is done. It took approx 3 hours, and you can see once the replication is done, our VM is ready for testing. Here you can see what it does. It creates a snapshots of your virtual machine. Here are the snapshots it has been created. From these snapshots, the volumes will be created, which we will use to create a VM. Let's go to the volume options. Here you can see all our volumes that are attached with VM. We can see all the volumes here. Let's go back and create a test instance. So there are 2 3 options, test, cutover, but first we will go with the test instance to verify if all the data, all the applications are in place. So we have started the job. It will take some time to create or to launch the instance. Let's wait for some time. Okay, it's created successfully. Let's go to the instance, refresh it here. You can see a server has been created, app server. It is in initializing state, but there is no public IP attached with this server, right? So we have to create a public IP for this, so we can access this server and we can check if all the data is there. Let's create the EIP first. Go to the elastic IP, create one. Elastic IP is ready. Attach it with the virtual machine. We have to associate this elastic IP with our instance that just created, app server 1. Let's associate. Okay, let's go back to the instance. Here you can see the elastic IP has been attached. Our VM is still in initializing state. Now VM is ready. Let's connect with it. Again, I'm using the same method, RDP, and we have to use the same username password what we created in Azure. So I'm using the same username, cpvm, and the password. Okay, we have logged in our VM. Okay, this is the first time we are starting the server, so it's taking time. This is the certificate license error. No problem, this is normal. It is saying like you are using the data center Azure edition. Now it will use Azure AWS license. Okay, let's check our data. We'll go into the drive what we have attached. Here you can see the test file and the nginx file which we have downloaded in our virtual machine. Let's test the application. So our test data is there. Now we are testing our application what we have hosted in our server. So it's not working. Okay, we have just started the server. We have to restart the service. We'll go into the path nginx, and from here we'll start the service. Let's try it again. Okay, our application is working fine. Similarly, once we have tested our application, next step is mark as ready for cutover. So what this step will do, this step will terminate your test instance. You can see in the instance, okay, it's shutting down. After shutting down, it will terminate the instance. The ready for cutover state is for launching the final instance in your AWS environment. Okay, it is terminated now. We are ready for next step, launch cutover instance. This is the final instance we are launching. You can see all the details of the job we have just created. The process has been started. It will take some time. I'm stopping the recording. Okay, our instance has been launched successfully. Let's go to the instance tab. Let's refresh it. Here you can see our cutover server or the final server is launching. It is in initializing state. Again, there is no EIP attached with this, so we can use the same EIP with this to access the server. Let's go to the VPC. We will use the same EIP with this instance. I'll associate the same EIP with our final instance. This is our instance, app server 1, associate. You can see it is attached with our app server. It is still in initializing state. Let's wait for some more time. Okay, our server is ready. Let's try to access this and we will verify the data and the application. Okay, this is the final step we have done. Now you can finalize the state. Our server has been launched. Now we are taking the final step. I'm just finalizing the cutover. So it will disconnect with our Azure virtual machine. Now these machines are working individually. Let's connect with our instance. Same RDP. We have to use the same username passwords. So this is our virtual machine. You have seen we have migrated server without any downtime or without any impact. We haven't restarted, shut down the existing server. Let's go to the file explorer. Again, this is a license error. We are using the AWS now, no problem. This is our test data, which is available here. Now the next step, we have to verify the application part, if it is working fine or not. First, we restart the service of NGINX. Now check in the browser if it is working. It is working fine. So this is how we can migrate our server from Google Cloud, from Azure, or from anywhere to AWS without any downtime. I hope you understood. That's all for today's video. See you in next video with some new interesting topic. Thank you guys.